If it's your first time hearing about Syngenta, they're one of the world's largest ag tech companies right now, employing thousands around the globe. Now, they work very closely with farmers all around the world in regions, for example, like Africa and India, to make sure that they have all of the resources and information to sustainably grow their crops year round. Now, as a part of today's video, we're going to be sitting down with one of the key members representing Syngenta, but then in addition to that, a member representing Gamma Earth, which is a platform that uses satellite imagery, including AI, in order to provide even more data about exactly what the Earth looks like, in order to be able to present that to small farmers all around the globe for them to make better decisions about their crops and financial decisions. Now, how does Cardano tie into all of this? Well, there's a Project Catalyst funding round number 13 proposal where we'll see Syngenta partnering up with Gamma Earth to basically put together a data set to quickly and easily onboard new farmers and to give them accessibility to features and to information that they never had before. Now, all this will be stored directly on the Cardano blockchain. So this means brand new digital identities. This also means NFTs. And that also means heightened activity or transaction activity, regardless of whether it's a bull market or a bear market, given the fact that these farmers are conducting transactions or will be conducting transactions and using that information year round. So as we get ready to dive into today's interview, as always, if you enjoy content like this, please make sure to smash that thumbs up on the way in. If it's your first time stopping by Dapp Central and you want more content breaking down all the biggest builders and opportunities here in Cardano, consider subscribing. And last but not least, if you have any questions, comments, or concerns, leave those down below. That said, enjoy today's interview. What's up, Ada Nation? Welcome to Dapp Central, your home for everything blockchain and crypto. My name's Fareed. As a part of today's video, we're talking about a pretty big proposal here as it pertains to Project Catalyst funding round number 13 with an integration from Syngenta. Now, we're going to be breaking down exactly what this means, but this will be focusing around agriculture and observations and exactly how we can use the Cardano blockchain with some of the biggest projects in order to make that come to life. Without any further ado, let me bring up today's guest. We've got first and foremost, Joseph. We've also got Shai, and we've also got Duran, who's joining us. We've also do have Philip Desar, who's currently in backstage right now representing Anastasia Labs. I'll be bringing him up here in just a moment to break down the oracles and some of the infrastructure and more technical perspectives of this particular proposal. Now, that's quite a mouthful there. Gentlemen, welcome up. Good morning. How are you?
Hello.
Hey, Fareed. Thank you for having us.
It is a pleasure. It is a pleasure. As always, I like to kick things off here with introduction. So maybe we just go from right to left on my screen here. So I've got Joseph first, Duran, and then Shai. But do you mind giving us a little bit of a background as to what it is that you do?
Hi. So really happy to be here. Thank you for having this discussion. I'm representing actually Gamma Earth. So I have a very technical background in Earth observation, image processing, and artificial intelligence. And so I'm on the technical side of enhancement of satellite imagery and making it available for satellite oracle and variety of different applications, particular agricultural applications at very low cost and very high quality. Thank you.
Thank you. Shai, right over to you.
Hey, so thanks again for having us, Fareed. So myself personally, I bring together over a decade of experience in tech project management, combined with just over a decade experience in finance, and then just about 3 years experience in blockchain and Web3, including multiple projects in Project Catalyst in the Cardano ecosystem since Fund 11, including very exciting ones. Also collaborating with Joseph in the past around satellite imagery.
Yeah, I think it's an exciting time right now to be in Cardano. And of course, as you mentioned, we've chatted before. I'm looking forward to catching up on some of those other fronts here as well. Last but definitely not least, we've got Duran. Feel free to go ahead and introduce yourself.
Hi, Fareed. Hi, everyone. Duran Gal. I'm head of digital sustainability and soil health at Syngenta. I work at the company headquarters in Basel. And Syngenta is one of the world's leading agricultural technology and innovation companies. We are working in more than 100 countries with 57,000 employees. Our mission overall is to help farmers feed the world sustainably. And Syngenta has been, over the past number of years, at the forefront of sustainable agriculture, working with millions of growers on this. And this is really a key reason why we're here, to enable sustainable agriculture and social impact in a kind of new and powerful way.
Perfect, succinct, and very nice introduction from all of you gentlemen there. If I'm not mistaken, as Duran just mentioned there, Syngenta, a global player here when it comes to the agricultural space. I believe you guys have a very strong presence in India, right, with over 20,000 farmers. And I believe the goal is to empower small farmers and community members, right, to improve their financial results as they're growing their crops. Now, I want to maybe just discuss exactly what this proposal is about, right? So either of you want to step up to the stage here and break down how Cardano can be leveraged or integrated with what Syngenta is currently aiming to do.
Okay. Perhaps, I can start from our objective here. So our objective is to empower a very large but underserved group of farmers around the world that we call, or they are called, smallholder farmers. They are typically, they own very little land, like, under 2 hectares, but at the same time, they produce about 2/3 of the world's food. And they do it in very challenging, under very challenging conditions. They, very much sustenance farming. They don't have a lot of financial resources to invest in their business. They kind of manage from day to day. The price they get for their produce is often unfair because they're very small growers, and there's multiple layers between them and between the people who actually pay for the food. So they have a pretty hard deal. We feel that for them and for food security globally, because they are so important, and for the sustainable aspects of farming, since the farming that they do could be improved and optimized so much and made so much better, with a so much better environmental footprint. This is what we want to do, right? This is our objective, and this, I think, is our opportunity here. I would say perhaps one more thing is that we believe that the key to this is to empower them by giving these smallholder growers ownership of their data and blockchain-based digital ID, and then a tool set to leverage this data to access financial offers, to access financial inclusion mechanisms, so credit, microinsurance, and so on, fair pricing for their product, and a great wealth of agronomic knowledge that we as Syngenta would be able to transmit to them in a scalable way.
Got it, and thank you. I want to maybe jump over to Joseph next, right? Because you mentioned earlier you're dealing with satellite imagery, a lot of technology and AI. How does that play a piece here with Syngenta? And are there any use cases here again that could be leveraged or that tie or integrate into Cardano?
Sure. So let me show you a little bit, a little example. So what the Doron described, and this is exactly what we are trying to achieve. However, until recently, this was very difficult to do because this requires this data that Doron was talking about was very expensive. So satellite imagery data, of high resolution satellite imagery data is not readily available. It's very expensive. And so scaling this and providing this kind of service to smallholder farms would be impossible or difficult until recently. However, we now have the stack of technologies, really something quite unique, where we are able to leverage artificial intelligence to enhance satellite imagery. So taking very low resolution, very low cost data and converting it into high resolution data that is good enough for this kind of applications. The second thing that we do is actually removing clouds, which when we are talking about smallholder farms in Africa and especially in India, there is a problem that the cloud cover doesn't allow you to really do any meaningful, reliable analysis. And so we use very sophisticated models to remove clouds from the satellite imagery data. And so we have this time series of high resolution, high quality satellite imagery that now allows us to support such applications at very low cost. And that's basically what the kind of the really novel, unique technological capabilities that we are going to build on, and then we are going to create this packages of environmental data, compile all the necessary environmental data that is needed for the analysis and decision support for these smallholder farmers, and then put these packages of secure data, structured data on blockchain. So this is a little bit of demo, a part of the ongoing project, Fund 12 project, where basically for every hexagonal structure, like a piece of land on the surface of the Earth, we create this, what we call eco mandala, which is basically what I just described. It's a structured, packaged collection of environmental data in support of various environmental applications. And we put this on in the form of NFT. We mint this on NMaker and put it on, secure it with Cardano blockchain. So that's in a nutshell.
That's impressive and really great demo there. I mean, I think for me, like when I'm able to see the before and the after, it's like you see the impact. And as you mentioned, removing the clouds, making everything look so nice and sharp, very, very interesting. And then for me, right, being able to securely store all that information on Cardano is, I think, it's what we need. One of the most secure, reliable networks already out there. I think if we're able to help you guys do your job better, it's not just going to obviously help you guys, but also those smaller farmers to get an equal opportunity. Shai, I'm tongue twisted here. I do apologize for that. I'd love maybe just jump over to you, talk about how you're contributing to this proposal and how you're contributing to Syngenta's mission as well.
So first and foremost, my role here is to be the coordinator between the various partners and the Cardano ecosystem. Being involved here for over a year within the Cardano ecosystem, I help put this together, connect with the partners, and make sure that we have everything that we need to deliver this project first and foremost. And then the connection with Syngenta is very natural. I think when you heard Doron speak, you had to think back to the origins of Cardano. Impact on 2 million small farm holders in a decentralized way through potentially 20,000 agro entrepreneurs. This is what we were here for. This is why we created Cardano. This is why we're building it. And I think this is an amazing project to deliver what we're promising.
Nicely said. Now, I have to ask from a timing perspective, and anybody feel free to jump in here, how long does it take for something like this to be built out? It looks like, Yosef, what you showed me, it appears to be live, at least in beta, right? So a lot of the tech appears to be ready to go. But how long would it take to onboard and actually get this proposal completed if it were to be funded?
Yeah, so exactly as you say, a lot of this, as I said, there's the whole technological stack. A lot of these components are ready to go. Putting it all together is a challenge, and this is what we will have to do as part of this project. And perhaps Phil can jump in and describe how we can structure the whole, all of this stack of technologies and create this Oracle system that will make it readily available and really easy to access for practical applications and for the end user. So that's, I think, the perfect moment where the actual Oracle can be discussed a little bit.
As we said, I mean, the technical elements are a challenge, and I think the delivery of the security or the satellite Oracle are going to be a huge contribution to the ecosystem, regardless of this project. There's in the scope of this project, but anybody will be able to benefit from those later on. The implementation in India, I think Doron can comment a little bit more. Potentially, we have a two-phased approach here, with a kind of a first phase of up to 100,000 all farm holders, and then from that going to the 2 million.
Thank you. Mr. Duran, anything that you maybe want to add about, the security, the tech, the timelines as it pertains to Syngenta?
Sure. First, as Shai mentioned, we have a bit of a jump start because Syngenta Foundation established a program called the Agri-Entrepreneur Program in India already. And it counts about 20,000 agri-entrepreneurs, each of them serving about 100 farmers. So that's 2 million farmers already, and growing very rapidly. And this agri-entrepreneur program, these are local, often young people who are part of the community, know the farmers, know the environment, and are somewhat tech savvy. So they are one crucial bridge, right, to scaling and to actually bringing on this population on a tech platform. The other piece being that's crucial is what Joseph is bringing is the automation of populating data for the farmers. So this we already have, I think, a really a great start and a pathway to scaling up. We are speaking here of very many growers doing a great number of transactions, or very small transactions. So the stability, reliability, scalability, they're critical, which is a very important reason why I think Cardano is such a great fit, both from the technical point of view, right, to handle this scale of small transaction, the cost, right, of keeping even the small transactions profitable for the growers. And extremely important is we need something reliable. We need stability and reliability for the growers. They're very vulnerable population. We can't go in, do something flashy and come out. This needs to be consistent and serious and responsible. In terms of time, I'm comfortable that with the Agri-Entrepreneur Program, we can scale up to 100,000 growers within months.
Got it, and thank you. So we do have one of the more technical minds here within the Cardano ecosystem. I'm going to go bring him up here. This is Philip Desar from the Anastasia Labs team. Phil, we've chatted plenty of times here. Thank you for making some time here for us. I know you've been running around a lot of different calls and you've got a lot on your plate here, but we're talking about Syngenta, this proposal here to help out some of these smaller farmers all around the globe. And from a technical perspective, we'd love to hear, how Anastasia Labs is contributing to this equation as well.
Right. So we're providing a mechanism to connect, the satellite data to the chain. And this is exciting for a number of reasons. I'll speak to the chain impact, because that's sort of my area of expertise. The farmers will benefit from this from all the ways that were mentioned before, but the chain itself and even non-farming related protocols will benefit from this greatly, because from a different perspective, right? In one way, you can look at this proposal as making real world impact, which I think is very exciting, but also it's a powerful primitive for blockchain protocols. This allows you to build protocols that previously could not exist. For instance, things like trustless prediction markets. Like one of the most critically acclaimed blockchain protocols is Polymarket, which is sort of a betting odds platform. And the idea is that money talks and bullshit walks, right? If you believe something, like someone's going to win an election or some event is going to happen, then you bet on it and you'll profit over time if you're more often right than wrong. And this has been shown to have a real huge impact on the actual collection of objective data over a huge range of topics. Because you can see like a ton of online articles, you can say whatever you want. You could say, this event is going to happen or it's not going to happen. But when you really put money behind it, you have to have conviction that what you're saying is right. And the issue with systems like this is, at the end of the day, you have to trust that some event occurred, right? If you're betting, is this event going to occur? Someone has to tell the blockchain, yes, it occurred, or no, it didn't occur. And the nice thing about this proposal is it introduces a primitive that takes away that element of trust. You don't have to trust anyone, because a satellite is not a human being. It's a piece of equipment that does its job as it's programmed to do. So, if the bet is, for instance, the event is that crop yield is going to go up this year, or crop yield is going to go down this year, or some weather event will happen, or the temperature will be this, or we'll see X number of people, or any number of things that satellite imagery can detect, not only in the realm of farming, but just anything, then you can actually make prediction markets on these things using this primitive. And I think that's very exciting. So we could see, for instance, a poly market come to Cardano in a way that it's never been done before. You're not trusting anyone, you're trusting a satellite. I also think that it's very impactful for insurance protocols, on-chain insurance protocols. In Ethereum, there's this protocol called Nexus Mutual, which is like a decentralized application where people can get insurance for money that they have in Dapp protocols and even other protocols, or even in real life, like home insurance, etc., through a decentralized application, right? And this sort of cuts out the middleman, because if you do normal insurance, there's a huge, just like banking, there's a huge amount of overhead and middlemen that are taking huge cuts and profiting off of everything. And decentralized finance makes this much, vastly reduces this margin. And one of the cool things about this is, say you want to insure your farm, right? It's very hard without something like this, without this proposal, for an on-chain protocol to determine what insurance rate they should charge you, because what insurance firms charge you depends on risk, and to be able to calculate risk, you need data, right? And also to be able to calculate whether an insurance event happened, you need data. So, home insurance can depend on huge amounts of data of where the home is, like the neighborhood, etc. And then when you want to process a claim, someone needs to check that what you're saying occurred actually occurred, right? So for instance, like for a wildfire, how can an on-chain protocol see that there was a wildfire and that your farm was burnt down, right? This isn't feasible. But with this primitive, we can actually have on-chain insurance protocols that are objective, and claims can be proven through satellite information, and risk analysis can be done entirely on chain because you have the data of that farm for months and months and months. And you can see the neighborhood, you can see the weather history, you can see the number of events that have occurred and the number of claims that have occurred. And to me, this is extremely exciting because it allows us to have dApps that have real world impact. It's sort of connecting decentralized finance technology with things that were inaccessible. Because one of the core value propositions of blockchain is like, we're going to take all these things that are traditionally reserved for institutional financial firms. Like, you can't just become an insurance provider in the real world. You can't just say, I'm going to do insurance now, right? You have to get a ton of licenses. You have to have a whole company around it. But with blockchain, you can. And with this proposal, especially, you can. And you could actually be an insurance provider. You could come in, if you have ADA, and say, I'm going to insure your farm, right? This is the cost of insurance for a farm, and I'm going to be your insurance provider. And not just you, right? It wouldn't just be you assuming the risk. It'd be tons of ADA holders. And to me, this is extremely exciting because it's a source of passive revenue for you as an ADA holder. If you believe that, no events are going to occur, then of course you're going to profit from this. And it has huge real world impact because now, insurance that would have been unaffordable to these farmers is actually affordable. Another big thing is that the satellite Oracle will be open source. So any protocol can build on top of it. It's not like you have to be part of this proposal or any of the teams or even know any of the teams to build an insurance protocol on top of this. So to me, this is very exciting. I think it's going to, not only bring chain activity from like the minting of the NFTs and the updating of these NFTs, but it's going to bring on-chain activity in enabling a huge number of potential dApps that previously could not exist without this proposal.
Very nice summary there, Phil. Definitely do appreciate it. I have to ask Joseph now, because you've touched on the satellite imagery and sort of how impactful that is. And so for Joseph, I know that these satellites aren't cheap to operate. Who is front loading the cost to operate these things? Is that, being done through you guys, through Syngenta, through this proposal? And then just thinking out loud here, how many satellites are available that you guys are currently managing?
So this is a wonderful question. Thank you for this. So traditionally, satellite imagery was very difficult to get. It was very expensive, and it was mainly for the defense, world and this type of applications. However, a few years back, the NASA, both NASA and European Space Agency, decided to basically put the archive of the satellite imagery from a range of satellites into public domain and make it available for free to the public. Now, the issue with that was that this data that they released into public domain was relatively low resolution. So kind of they created this gap between publicly available satellite imagery that is low resolution and the high resolution imagery that was available from commercial satellite operators that is still today extremely expensive. And there is a huge gap between these two worlds. It was actually a very heated discussion where these commercial satellite operators made sure that these space agencies don't overstep into their territories and don't interfere with their business, right? And so, however, this low resolution satellite imagery that is available at very low cost is not sufficiently, detailed for majority of commercial applications, and in particular for smallholder farmers, where the farms are very small, fields are very small, and so the whole field can be smaller than a single pixel of the satellite image, and so it's just useless, right? And so what happened with the technology that we have developed is that you basically completely close this gap. You take low resolution satellite imagery that is available at very low cost, right? And you reconstruct the spatial details using artificial intelligence. This is a very sophisticated process that there's still people that think that's too good to be true. But there is plenty of publications and results that I'm always happy to discuss to try to prove to people that this is actually very accurate and very reliable, right? And so we are able to close this gap and make this publicly available data high resolution enough that makes it sufficient high quality for these commercial and not commercial applications. And so this opens the whole of range of really exciting, compelling opportunities, new business models. I think it opens the whole world of opportunity for Earth observation, for commercial applications in Earth observation. And so I think this is an incredible moment. And especially if we make this data secure and we put it on chain, I think this can be absolutely huge for both Earth observation, for blockchain, and for commercial applications, particularly in agriculture.
Again, really great response there. One thing that I love about all this is that once it's on chain, anybody can get access to it and can use it as they want. And so I think that really sort of fits Cardano's ethos, which is to decentralize everything and to make everything permissionless, right? And so with the rise of AI and what you guys are doing, I think that there's definitely going to be a lot more applications and use cases where the satellite imagery can be extremely, extremely beneficial. I think insurance was just one of those key pieces that Phil hit on there. Now, as we get ready to wrap things up here, we are at the 30-minute mark. I want to just go around in a brief circle here and just get closing thoughts from everybody here on the line. So I know, Yosef, you just went there. Maybe we go over to Shai, and then Duran will come over to you, and then we'll swing back over to Yosef for closing thoughts.
Yeah, so I think we're putting together something really amazing here. An existing initiative from a world leader in AgTech with a leader in satellite imagery. We're going to build enabling technology that will reach out beyond this project, far beyond this project. Talking about adoption, this project is planned to have at least 100,000 wallets onboarded for these entrepreneurs and farm holders, drive transaction volumes in the hundreds of thousands in terms of NFTs and updating these data. And then obviously, when we talked about the downstream application, microfinance, insurance, this is a real case of what Cardano was created for. And here it is, driven by non-crypto, non-blockchain companies. So really exciting.
Yeah, and what I love about the last piece that you just said there is that it's not driven just by crypto members, right? So whether it's a bull market or a bear market, they're going to be using this tech and they're still going to be contributing to Cardano's activity, right? So as you guys mentioned, creating transactions, NFT minting, all of that will be going on regardless of what's going on in the crypto sphere. Thank you again there for that, Shai. All right, Mr. Duran, over to you for closing thoughts.
Me personally, but more importantly, Syngenta Group has put soil health kind of at the center of its agenda because, we completely see how it's going to be transformative to agriculture. And the biggest reason for soil health, the reason for soil health other than healthy soil is really nice, the key reason is that it's necessary for global food security. And it's the greatest challenge. Keeping soil health is probably the most challenging aspect of maintaining global food security. So we've been really focused on that and working in different areas. Brazil is a very important growing area, the US, other areas, and India. And smallholders are extremely important, but we didn't know how to approach this. Just so fragmented and so hard to manage. So such a large amount of small interactions, but at the same time necessary. So I see, that, and I don't know if it's by luck or fate or whatever, but I see this amazing combination here, like this perfect combination, right, of a technology, blockchain technology that is very frictionless in terms of and scalable in terms of handling very large numbers of very small transactions, and still leaving the farmers with a profit. A very reliable way to get data into that system remotely at very low cost. Again, it wouldn't have worked otherwise. Those first steps that we've made in terms of the agri-entrepreneur program that can really jumpstart and scale this. The knowledge we've accumulated that we want to make available. So I think when you bring all this together, this hits global food security. Really powerful message and powerful project. The social impact. You have nothing I can say will take, I think, the place of somebody here, one of you, one of the people listening in, going and spending time with these farmers and experiencing their life. And we can bring such a great positive impact here. From sustainability, that I'm responsible for sustainable agriculture, all these things come together perfectly. So I'm really excited.
It sounds like the perfect storm, for lack of better words.
Yeah, I wanted to use perfect storm, but that kind of has a negative connotation. So
yes. No, I completely hear you there. Again, thank you for jumping on here and sharing so much valuable information with me here. As we get ready to depart, Joseph, final closing thoughts from you.
Yeah, just to share, building on top of what Doron said, and just adding just a couple of sentences of my excitement. It's kind of combines the best that the cutting edge, state of the art science and technology has to offer. Right, so it's starting from the most advanced Earth observation satellites that are launched by NASA and the European Space Agency and fly around the globe, going through extensive cutting-edge artificial intelligence processing, secured on the blockchain, and all the way down to the smallholder farms in India. I mean, what can be better? More best of what science and technology has to offer, a kind of combination. Yeah. So for me, I can't imagine a more exciting project to be part of. So thank you.
Yeah. No, the pleasure's mine. Thank you all, gentlemen, for jumping on here and sharing so much information with me. Typically, I focus solely on Cardano. So for me, it was an agricultural lesson, right? And so I'm still digesting and trying to understand all of the little nooks and crannies of what you guys are doing. But generally speaking, I understand the impact and mission and what you guys are really trying to bring to the front here with an opportunity, right? Not just for Cardano, but for those small agricultural farmers all around the globe. Obviously, you guys will be starting off in India, but would love to see this expand. So that will bring us here to a close for today's interview here, where we've got Syngenta bringing forth the next frontier in agriculture, leveraging AI and satellite imagery, right? And then Shai helping to put all of that together here, being that mediator between the real world, Syngenta, the tech, and the Cardano ecosystem. I do want to extend a huge thank you here to Yorm for connecting us here. Also to Phil. I know that he's not able to be here. He's in and out, but he's been a huge contributor into the ecosystem as well. For you, the viewers watching at home, if you guys have enjoyed every or any portion of today's interview, number one, make sure to check out their proposal. Make sure to vote for it. Number two, make sure to smash that thumbs up here on this video. It helps me as a content creator. And if you aren't already subscribed, take the opportunity to consider doing so. If you have any questions about the AI tech, the satellite imagery, Syngenta, their business model, then please also go ahead and leave a comment down below. That'll bring us to a close here for today's interview. That said, and as always, we'll see you all in the next one. Cheers, everybody. Take care.